When you transition to from a class 2 to a class 1, why would you do that? Okay, so we have to look at, why do you need a class 1 license? You don't just go and get a class 1 license because you like the sound of having a class 1 rather than a class 2. There's a purpose for this. So if you're wanting a class 1 license, you want it because you're going to be the licensee in charge, or you're going to be the licensee in charge sitting on the bench in case the licensee in charge is away or sick or at conferences or, whatever they happen to be away from or unable to authorise the trust account withdrawals that we talked about earlier. There needs to be another class 1 agent within that agency who is able to do those transactions. So it's kind of the licensee in charge on the bench. They need to hold a class 1 license. Also, independent contractors need to have not commission-only employees, but independent contractors on a true independent contractor agreement with the owner of the agency. You are running your own business within somebody else's business. So whether you are a sole trader, a partnership, or a corporation, you need a class 1 license. If you are running a business, it is a requirement that you hold a class 1 license. So that's very much a part of why you need a class 1 license. So now, how do you get that? A couple of ways. There's the grandfather clause that I've talked about, or the window of opportunity that I've talked about a number of times over the past probably 6-7 months since we got the reforms coming through on the 23rd of March. So let's look at that first. So that opportunity is if you held a license, so a real estate license or a business broker's license, which is now a real estate license with business broking condition, or a stock and station license or a strata license, if you held that immediately prior to the 23rd of March, so it was current on the 22nd of March 2020, and you held that for a minimum of 2 years prior to that, so you held it on the 22nd of March 2018 or before, then you are eligible to make direct application for your Class 1 licence without having to provide the work experience logbook signed off by your Class 1 licensee in charge, or to have upgraded to the Diploma of Property Services qualification. Okay, so that's there, but you need to make that application prior to the 22nd of March next year. So you've got 5 months left. So that's one option. The second option is if you haven't held that licence for 2 years, when you have held it for 2 years, so that may fall today, it may fall next month, it may fall next year. When that does fall, you need to make your application to Fair Trading for a Class 1 licence. You will also need to provide, as part of your application, you will provide your transcript for your Diploma of Property. You will, agency management. You will provide the work experience logbook signed off by your licensee in charge, showing that you have 2 years experience in the industry, not just sat at home or worked in another industry, that you have worked in the industry as an agent for 2 years on whatever flavour of agent you are, whether you're real estate, stock and station or strata. And you'll obviously pay for that privilege. And, depending on, licenses go up every sort of 1st of July. So whatever that happens to be when you apply at the moment, it's about $750 for a Class 1 licence. So that's the process. So why do you need it? If you are running a business, if you are an independent contractor within a business, you need a Class 1 licence. If you want to be the licensee in charge, or if you want to be the licensee in charge in waiting or sitting on the benches, I think a lot of people refer to it, you need a Class 1 licence. You get it, get your qualification from us, obviously, get your work experience logbook signed off by your licensee in charge, and then when you've held it for 2 years, make your application. So hopefully that makes sense for what you need to do and why you need to transition from a Class 2 to a Class 1, or if you need to transition from a Class 2 to a Class 1. And if you have any questions about that, we can walk you through where it actually states you have to hold a Class 1 licence if you're running a business. So again, first place to start, have a look on the Fair Trading website. It's really clear on there that this is the case.